Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a speed build for my submission for Little Simsy's latest shell challenge, the Mouse Shell Challenge. Obviously, I am putting this up after the tours have already debuted, but I just couldn't get it done all edited and voiceover and everything else before she did the tour, so I apologize. And of course, mine did not get toured, but I think over 1,000 others also didn't get toured, so you know, she does the best she can. It was still a lot of fun seeing everybody's build, so if you were there, I hope you had a good time as well. I was watching while I made dinner, but this is our shell and we are going to place it here on the Potter's Splay lot in Willow Creek, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch over again. So I did give it a front porch, a back porch, and also even a little side porch area, and it kind of wraps around that side because I thought it would be nice if there was a little outdoor dining space. There's not a whole lot of room inside, so as far as dining space is concerned, I thought that having it outside might be a little bit better. I also made a little carport, a little covered carport out here without adding any additional walls because that's kind of my own little personal thing. I didn't want to add any additional walls, so I used these short trellises from high school years and I deleted the walls. Then I used tool mod to lower them down to the right positions. However, this was right before the update that we just had, and of course afterwards tool mod, better build by, all the other UI cheats that I use were effectively broken. They just were not working at all and the UI was completely messed up, so that was unfortunate. Luckily, I think I got most of the tool mod related things done during this build session. I did this in 2 build sessions, so it took me 2 nights basically, and luckily was able to finish all of the mod related tweaks I wanted to do before the update broke my mods, which was very upsetting, but it is to be expected. Hopefully that will be fixed pretty soon, but I'm not going to be impatient. You know, I know that our modders work hard to get us those updated mods as soon as they possibly can. Here you'll see I'm struggling with the roof though a little bit, and I decided to extend the roof a little bit more in the back just to make the shape look a little bit nicer and give a little bit more covered porch space. Over here on this side where the dining table ends up going, I decided to add a little bit more of this floor, and then I used the glass floor that we got from Island Living and I put it in right up here, and then I added a little bit of a fence in between just to be kind of like a trellis area. I also added a spandrel temporarily. I believe I ended up getting rid of that spandrel anyway because not only is it covered by the trim, but it just kind of, you couldn't really see it anyway, and I figured no need having it there to clip into anything accidentally. But here we are back at the front of the home with the carport, and I'm adding some fencing to the front porch, a little debug car to the garage, and just trying to figure out the flooring. Now we're inside and I'm kind of working on the floor plan. It was a little confusing at first what I was going to do, so tried to just place some furniture in here while I was figuring out what the actual room sizes were going to look like. In here we have a bathroom. It ends up also having a washer dryer in here. I thought that it was just a nice little addition to the bathroom because it filled up some space and also gave something else for the sim to do while they were just in this home in general. It seemed like the bathroom was a little too big, but I didn't know how to make it smaller without changing the entire shape of the room, and I wanted there to be enough space in the hallway for there to be a bathroom door and a bedroom door. So this is how it ends up working out, but eventually I switch where the sinks are with where the washer and dryer is. Also adding a little sliding door to the only bedroom in here, and then I do end up changing that bed later on. But for right now, that's our placeholder bed. Now working again on changing the shape of this back porch to make it make a little bit more sense and give a little bit more space for the roof overhang a little bit. I was really struggling. This roof was a tough one, and it's definitely a different shape than I'm used to doing on these homes. So I tried to go for a bit of a classic suburban home. I didn't make it blue. I did make it a different color, but I was trying to go for a classic suburban home. So I did use the growing together spandrels on all of the decks because I really like how that one looks, the craftsman style. And then in the kitchen, we're using the counters from Parenthood. And then at first I pulled out the Home Chef Hustle appliances, the stove and the fridge and the sink. But I do end up swapping out the fridge and the stove for a different one. I forget which one, but you'll see it soon. Also the dishwasher from Parenthood which I believe I ended up switching out for the one from Life and Death because I thought that that one just looked a little bit nicer and matched with the new collection of appliances I ended up going for. I can't remember which ones. I think they were from Growing Together. I think that I thought the Growing Together fridge and stove would look better in here because they weren't so stark white. They were kind of a little bit more off-white. And they matched the cabinetry a little bit nicer. I did keep the white cabinetry, but I add some tile in there later on. Also the new front door, of course, that we got with the birthday event, all those new free things we got with the update. And then here I am finishing up the spandrels and the trim on the outside of the home. Now we're going to work our way into the bathroom though. Here I am rearranging everything so that the washer and dryer is on one side and then the countertops are on another. And then I add the sink in here as well very shortly. This little tiny space here in the front is going to be the living room, and I just wanted to place a little tiny couch. At first I used this love seat from Cozy Kitsch. I do replace that very shortly, but I wanted to put it there just to see. And then I was trying out a few different coffee tables or console tables. I was thinking about this one from Paranormal because I haven't used it in a while. I also really enjoyed this bay window, but I didn't like how if you looked at it from the outside, it kind of clipped with the siding a little bit. So instead I pulled out this one from University and I used Tool Mod to get that in the right position. And I think this one works out a little bit nicer. And then I just moved the door over a little bit so that everything would fit properly. And then I messed around with the exterior for a long time, so I cut out most of my struggle with that, but I decided on this lovely kind of sage green siding that came with Growing Together, and then the foundation is also from Growing Together, fixed underneath the steps so that they would match with the foundation. And then I changed the roof color of the shingles to be more of a darker shade, and of course it's these scalloped shingles because I love them so much and I use them in almost every single build just because they're my favorite. Now back here I did add a little woodworking table that came with the Artist Studio kit because I thought that it looked really nice here. Maybe this is her little woodworking section. I also never said it, but I imagine the sim is a florist and she's planning on getting her own flower shop very, very shortly. That is why she has a little carport, so she can use her car to get to the lot where she sells her flowers and has her little shop. But for now, she's gonna just try to do it out of her home while she can, maybe set up a little table at the end of the driveway until she can afford to get her own little retail store. But in the carport space, I did put that woodworking table. Maybe she makes her own planters or something to put the flowers in. And then, of course, a little tiny little repair tools for like bikes. And I also imagine for cars. I think this sim is very handy. I think she enjoys the artsiness of flower arranging, but also enjoys doing things on her own. So she has like a pretty high handiness skill, and she also has a high flower arranging skill and a gardening skill, cooking skill, all that. She's very self-sufficient and she enjoys being independent. After we finish the landscaping, we're going to work our way into the bathroom, and I did resize the shower tub combo a little bit with Tool Mod so that it kind of just blends in with the rest of the tile. I did playtest this, and the sim I used to playtest was able to get in and out of the shower, take a proper shower and bath, no problem. So luckily that worked out. We're also adding one more window to the bathroom. And then we are deciding on our sink after I rearrange the mirror and the lights ever so slightly. I would think I end up actually putting them back anyway because I end up moving this bathroom around so much and rearranging and figuring out which cabinets I want to use. But for right now, that is the layout that we have. And then I believe I also add some curtains pretty soon. But we are also adding some pavers to the patio space. I wanted them to be different than the driveway, obviously, so I use these geometric pattern ones. And then we have some lights going in. Those are from For Rent. I just love them in that white color. I think they blend in so nicely. And I'm also using these Debug and Live Edit bushes, the low-lying flowers that came with werewolves. Simsy actually used them recently in a build and pointed it out. And I said, wow, those are really nice. I think I'm going to use those more often as well. So they are here as well. I thought maybe if she saw the build, she would see I used those. But, you know, it's okay. Maybe she'll see them in her own free time when she's just perusing. I don't know if she's going to have any free time because pretty sure that we have some footage coming very, very shortly of the new pack from her and all of our other favorite Sims tubers, and I'm very, very excited. So while you watch me very monotonously finish up this landscaping, we can talk about that a little bit. But let me know in the comments what you're most looking forward to from what we've seen already with what the new pack is going to bring, or what kind of builds you're going to be doing, what kind of builds you want to see someone else build, or what you think is going to be wrong with the game even, because I'm sure there will be some bugs. There usually is, but I don't want to be too negative. But let's just prepare ourselves mentally, because it is inevitable at this point. Now we're back in the kitchen, and I'm changing the tile on the walls to Growing Together tile, and then the flooring, I used the Love Struck tile in this white color. I thought that was really nice, and I did kind of make a little tiny offshoot into the rest of the home. The rest of the flooring, though, is this base game wood floor. I really like the grain on this wood floor, and I don't use it super often. I just thought it looked really nice in here, so gave it a shot. And of course, my favorite above deck wallpaper with the paneling on the bottom, and I did change the color of this for the hallway. I think I used more of a darker blue swatch in the hallway because I wanted to change up the colors a little bit. Now we're going to be in the bedroom though, and we are changing the bed to this one from high school years. The walls pretty much match perfectly with the bedspread, which is maybe a little on the nose, but I thought that it looked really nice, so I kept it this way. I really enjoyed this color. Also pulling out the dresser from high school years, and that matches the wood tone of the bed. And then I was looking for a mirror to put on the wall, and I couldn't figure out where it was even going to go. I did pull out this one from Modern Luxe, and then I switched the positioning of the dresser and mirror just because I didn't want the mirror facing the bed directly. It seemed a little uncomfortable. And then a little chair in the corner because every room has a chair for setting out their clothes, and a little computer desk over here next to the sliding door with the computer that came with high school years and a little lamp from Love Struck. And then I decided to also add some wall lights because this room was rather dark without a ceiling light, but I didn't want there to be a big hanging ceiling light in here. So just some of these hanging lights. I think those were from Cozy Bistro. And then in the living room, replacing the console table with this one from Crystal Creations. And then I believe I replaced the couch altogether as well with this one from the Book Nook kit. It's very cozy. It does fit in this room pretty nicely as well. I didn't expect that it would fit. I thought it would be too big of a couch because it is a 3-seater couch versus a love seat, but I think it works out well. And I also added a little armchair here, and I did have to play with the positioning of the armchair with respect to where the couch is, and also giving the Sims some space to walk through it. Also, this hanging plant from Bloom and Rooms, which I also had to play around with. I had to size it down ever so slightly and move it a little bit closer to the wall because my playtester sim couldn't get past it to sit on the couch to watch TV. So you might see it's a tiny bit smaller in the screenshots. But I did add some curtains from Dream Home Decorator, a little rug from Book Nook, and some more plants, and a little lantern on the console table that I believe came with Life and Death as well. I kept that room pretty sparse with decorations. I didn't really overclutter it too much. I think part of that is I thought I was running out of time to finish this, and I didn't want to overdo it. I would have just rather got it done with whatever I could at the time. And then we put some lights in the hallway from Growing Together because I love those little globe lights. I think they're just so realistic. And of course, fiddling around with the bathroom configuration again, I changed the one cabinet to a corner piece cabinet, adding a light on top of this shelf just above where the washer and dryer are because I thought they needed a little bit more light in that corner. And then some more curtains that came with, I believe oh man, where did they come from? I think those came from the Everyday Clutter kit. And then changing the flooring to the new hexagonal flooring we got in this blue tone, and a little towel on the wall over here. Also moved the curtains up so that I could fit that towel on the wall. I thought it looked a little nicer anyway. And of course, our favorite bathroom clutter stuff. We have our toilet paper roll. We have our little jars of bath salts and cotton balls and such. And then, of course, a little plunger. And I think I add a flower to the back of the toilet eventually as well. Some bath mats in front of the shower tub combo, and then I also put one in front of the sink. But we have our soap pump and our toothpaste cup, some little hand towels with a bar of soap on them on the counter, a little hanging towel on the wall. Here's that second bath mat going in, and then here's that flower going in. This one is from Dine Out, and it's so pretty. Then over here in the hallway, I thought it'd be a nice spot for a little gallery wall moment, so I pulled out this one. This came with the Bella Goth kit, the Sanctuary something or other kit. I forget what it's called. But then I also put on this little console table a stack of books, so that's her little bookcase, and then also the Book Nook kit little basket with the plant in it and some books. Thought that was nice, and a little flower vase that has like a bouquet in it. I don't know where it's from, but it looked pretty and I put it there anyway. Also, there's a little candelabra from Lovestruck there in the hallway on that table as well, and the rug is from For Rent, and I think it just fits that area so nicely, so put that in there. And now we're going to work into the kitchen. We have a wine bottle going on the counter, as well as a green little Dutch oven pot I put on the stove using Move Objects, and then some utensils in a beautiful vase and some plates, which are from Home Chef Hustle, I believe. And then I also added some spices from Home Chef Hustle. And I kind of play with the configuration of all of these clutter items. Also some lemons in a glass vase that I just think looks so pretty and fancy. And I wish I had one of those, or that it was safe to have one of those without my kids breaking it. But anyway, also made sure there's a smoke detector and a thermostat in this home, because that is important, and a little decorative like jug and a bowl with some fruit in it, and a bread box on top of the fridge, which again I had to use tool mod to get to the right position. Out here on the side porch we have some plants going in. We have the little grass planter from City Living and the little assortment of plants from Growing Together over here, and I also grab this hanging plant from Paranormal Stuff using tool mod to size it down and position it properly. I have it hanging from the spandrel out here, so it might look like it's floating if you have the walls down, but it does look quite nice with the walls up, so I thought that that was a fair trade-off. Of course, adding our mailbox and trash can to the front, and then a little vent in the front of the home just to help fix up some of the appearance. It just looked a little too plain for me. I needed to add something. And of course some flower boxes for the windows, because I thought those were nice. I believe those are from Base Game. Now here in the backyard we are going to fence it in ever so slightly. I also use some bushes, so I try to just cover up the gap in between the fence and the bushes with some little like tall trees and a little tiny rose bush or something. Thought that was nice. And adding some more of these low-lying plants out front to kind of frame in the carport where that meets the fence. I think it looks really, really, really nice from this angle, because you can obviously get to the backyard through the carport, but then also from so many different rooms of the house that have like a sliding door that leads out to a deck. I just thought that it was really nice and cozy and inviting and easy to move around in. My playtester sim had no problem. And now we're back in the bedroom. I added the curtains from Paranormal onto the windows in there because I thought they looked really nice. On the back patio, we're using the Perfect Patio furniture and also some decorations on the wall, some plants, and then these chairs as well for the outdoor dining space. The table that I use is from a Base Game update not too long ago, maybe like an SDX drop from before winter, I think. And then we have a little citronella candle on that table because I thought it was nice, and a little flower box, a literal flower box hanging on the wall, and a rug in front of the door. And then completing the furniture set over here by the bedroom sliding door from Perfect Patio, as well as a little tiny patio table and a light from Lovestruck. And then we're working in the backyard, and we're getting pretty close to the end here. So we have a pool going in. We also had placed a little grill over there because I knew I wanted some outdoor cooking to happen over here. I just didn't know where. And I really like this pool trim that came with Lovestruck. It's a very thick pool trim. I used it in this white tone to kind of match the white accents on the rest of the house. And then using this relatively new terrain paint, this tile one that looks like it has some grass coming up out of the cracks. I thought that was really, really nice for right here. So I threw that in there. At first I thought it was a little stark, so maybe covering it up with some dirt on the edges, especially where these bushes are, might be nice. But then I wanted to soften it with some gravel right before it got to the actual pavers, and that is where I was thinking, oh no, maybe I overdid it. Let me go back in and on every single tile and just make it a little darker so that it's not quite so dirty looking, because I didn't want it to look dirty. I wanted it to look clean, like it's, freshly laid tiles on the back patio space. But I think it still looks really nice in the end. I did widen the border around the pool, and then I added some gravel kind of to blend it in a little bit. I think it looks really nice. And then over here in our little outdoor kitchen space, I do use the new swatch of these cabinets that came with the update earlier in this week. It looks like it has a stone bottom to it and a wood block top, so I thought that was nice, as well as a little bar, which I believe came with Party Essentials kit, and then a little umbrella table out here for dining, which I believe might be base game, although don't quote me on it. And then you'll see really quickly, I pulled out some hydroponic planters. Those are from Eco Lifestyle. You have to actually craft those unless you use Debug and Live Edit, and then you can see them, or the unlocks cheat. So I did pull them out as well. Those automatically water your plants, so I thought that those would be nice to include in there. And then we have some more plants going in on the table here. This is going to be like the flower arranging section and the little starter plant section. So I put them over on that table very, very strategically using the move objects on cheat. And then over by the grill, we have some tools that are for the grill, and then some barbecue sauces, some ketchup, some mustard and stuff, some condiments all over here on this section, as well as some assortment of plates and napkins and utensils. Those are from Toddler Stuff, I believe, and I forgot about them completely, but when I was searching, I found them and I was very excited. So while I was there, I also pulled out some string lights, and I ended up adding more to the backyard very shortly. But first, we're going to add some more terrain paint of dirt around the front. And I also found these really cute little flower boxes in Debug and Live Edit, which I had to work tirelessly to get to because I don't have cheats on during this section of the speed build, and it was driving me crazy. I was very spoiled by mods, so it was difficult, but we made it through. Here's some more of those string lights. I did have to adjust them ever so slightly because I didn't want them to cut into where the carport was, so I used just the move objects on cheat, and then I just arranged the light poles to match up, and they still work really nicely, and you can barely even tell that they're not exactly snapped to the grid. And then we're adding some more of these bushes back here with some gravel leading out the back gate, and I just think it looks so pretty and so inviting and so wide open. And you will see also, I didn't add a lot of decoration out here, but I did put in a bunch of Debug and Live Edit flowers that your sim can plant. So I had my playtester sim plant all of those. So eventually this backyard will look a little bit more fleshed out, but right now it looks pretty empty. Eventually those flowers will be planted and it ends up looking really, really nice. And then I add some terrain paint. Also, I noticed that in the screenshots, I didn't have everything in the build that I really wanted to include because I was rushing to get this done. So I did go back in later before I uploaded it to the gallery, and I added like the growing together pool skimmer and the life preserver on the back fence, and then I added a few more decorations inside the house. Outside the house, I tried to make it a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more cluttered, but in a purposeful way. So I hope that you don't mind. I didn't include everything in this build because I was really trying to get this build done for everybody to see. But I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I hope that you had fun during shell tours. You'll see that I have little Simsy's Simself here doing our play testing, and she's apparently crafting something out of this block of wood in the carport. I had a lot of fun with this one, and I had a lot of fun with the shell tours, so I hope you did too. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see coming up, either with the new pack or before we get the new pack or something completely unrelated. I always love to hear suggestions, and yeah, take a look at all the other builds that didn't get to have a chance to be toured because there were oh so many of them. You can just search the hashtag Simsy Mouse Shell, and I think it'll please you. There's a lot of really fun ones in there that I've already perused myself. Thanks so much for joining me here today, guys. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and let me know what else you'd like to see. Thanks, guys. Bye.